If you're looking for me, you can find me. Pimpin' getting riches, grinding. And ain't no use in even trying me. 45 piece beside me. Now let the church say amen again. Church say amen again. Church say amen again. Purse first, ass last, get your bag and win.
What's up, people? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's me, your boy, back again, E-Man, Coach E-Man, bringing you another episode of the More Life Podcast. Today's podcast, in honor of Black History Month, I guess, I'm going to talk to you today about the topic of I could have been a hashtag, right? And I know it's many African-American men and women out there who could have probably been a hashtag, before even this thing became a trend, right? Of rest in peace to Tamir Rice and things like that. Hashtag these people with their names. Michael Brown, yeah. So today's episode is about that, right? So where do I start? I just guess I'll start. So, as you know, I'm from Ashtabula, Ohio, right? Racist town. Didn't realize it was as racist. Ohio was as racist as it is, Northeast Ohio. But as a kid, I didn't know that, right? And so we used to get into it with this white family all down the street from my aunt's house, right? All the time. Throw rocks at the house, beat them up. Then 2 days later, we might be playing with them. Then the next day, we might be fighting and beating them up again, right? Or just getting into it with them. But I never heard them say anything, to my knowledge. I never remember them saying anything vulgar, anything disrespectful, anything dealing with all you black this or nigger this or anything like that. Like I didn't hear any of that until I moved to Little Rock, Arkansas. And this is basically me talking about my first experience with real racism. Was living in Sherwood, Arkansas. I was in the first grade. First grade, we were finishing out the first grade year. Maybe had 2, maybe 3 months left of school. And we lived in Sherwood in these apartments. And I used to ride the bus with these kids, white kids. I don't remember seeing the black kid on the bus. Maybe me and my sister. You know what I'm saying? And one moment I was sick, so I missed a couple of days in school, but we had assigned seats on the bus. And I used to sit with my white friend, can't think of his name, but we used to sit together every day. And I was gone a couple of days because I was sick. So when I came back, this other kid who lived down the road from us was in my seat. Well, yeah, was in my seat. So that morning he was in my seat, and so I just said forget about it and got set down somewhere else, and we got on the bus. But that afternoon, after school was over, I got in my assigned seat, because that's what the bus driver said do. So I got in my seat. Little white kid comes up to me, get out of my seat, nigger, and he punches me in my chest. Well, what do? I punched him in his eye about 2 or 3 times, boop, boop, boop. And his brother got up, and my sister beat up his brother, and they picked us off the bus, right? Held us at school. They were looking at us as being wrong, that we beat up these white kids. Principal wasn't trying to hear what happened. Bus driver didn't actually see what happened, but they kicked us off the bus. And so we had to wait on our dad to come get us. I ended up getting put on punishment and things like that until my dad wanted to talk to the white kid. White kid put on this little story that, I didn't say nothing to him. He just punched me in the eye. And I ended up getting a whooping for it, right? My daddy didn't believe my story, just being honest, he didn't. Until another white kid comes that was sitting in the seat. He came back from out of town vacation, and my dad talked to him, and he told my dad what happened. Then it was, oh, okay, Manuel, you can go play. Dad never told me he was sorry, anything like that, right? Don't hold it against him. It is what it is. We'll be kids. But going further down my story of how I could have been a hashtag, I'm building it up. If you know, I'm building the story up. I was about 14, 15 years old one summer. Me, my homeboy Chris, and his homeboy, who used to drive, he had a license. I cannot think of this boy name. My best friend Chris. We were out one night. Shouldn't have been where we were, honestly. Hanging out on Wright Avenue, at the Palace, kicking it at the car wash across the street with all the I guess the older people, the grown folks. And we hanging out, we in the dude car, we hanging out, we seeing girls dancing, all this type of stuff. They flirting with us, like we, kicking his eye. Some might have realized we was kids, some might have not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But they end up start shooting, right? And so we leave and we get in the cars, we drive off because they're shooting. I don't know how these cops got behind us, but the cops got behind us, flash their lights, we pull us over, and the first thing they come to us and say is, get your black asses out the car. Excuse my language. Get your black asses out the car. And we're like, whoa, wait, what did we do? We're trying to figure out what we did wrong and things of that nature, right? And so we're trying to figure out what's going on. We're trying to figure out what's going on, what happened, why are they talking to us like this? And they tell us get out the car, put our hands on the car, and they got their lights on, their guns is out. We're like, bro, what's up? We didn't do nothing wrong. We on our way home. Like, we're going home. Like, what's the problem? One of the white cops, well, where you guys coming from? You got guns on you? You got drugs on you? We're like, nah, man, we coming home. So, lights sprung in my head. Man, I'm coming from boxing practice, man. They picked me up from boxing practice. We had it was a weekend. So I said, we coming from a boxing match. And then I went to the gym after the match. And they, we're on our way home and we just driving through. Next thing we know, y'all pulled us over with y'all lights and stuff out. And dude was like, man, what? You box? I said, yeah, man. I boxed for Ray Rogers at Ray Rogers Boxing Club down over here off Cantrell, And the cop actually knew a Ray Rogers Boxing Club. He was like, what's your name? I said, I'm Emmanuel Moore, And he was like, man, I heard your name before, or something like that. And but what are y'all doing out? I said, man, this is where we coming from. They taking us home. So you ain't got no guns or nothing. I said, no. They searched the car. They doing all this. I'm like, no. So the dudes let us back in. Let us go. They uncuffed us. Let us go. Told us to get home. You know what I'm saying? And the whole while we trying to figure out, like, bro, what do we do to get pulled over? Granted, we were out here hanging out where we shouldn't have been as teenagers, right? Who didn't do it? But for y'all to come up 2-3 cars deep on us, guns blazing, and asking us, do we got guns and drugs in the car, not noticing that we're teenagers, even after you took our IDs and stuff, like we kids, and you trying to figure out why we out. Well, Jordan that's that boy name, Jordan. He got a license. He's driving. We're coming from this place. And that was a story I stuck with. And to this day, my mom, dad, nobody knows about that. But when things started happening years later, now that I'm older, I thought about that night, and it was like anything could have happened to us that night. Had I not lied and said I was coming from boxing practice at a boxing match, and we went to the gym and came back, and ain't no telling what could have happened, right? Thank God the man knew my coach name, right? But ain't no telling what could have happened that night, man, and we could have been arrested. They could have thought we was the one shooting. Like I said, they already had guns out. They could have shot us if we made false moves because we kids. We didn't know the magnitude of what was going on. We didn't understand the magnitude of these dudes is out here shooting. We're trying to get away. And for whatever reason, the cops get behind us. Now, I don't know how many cops there was, if they pulled over other people or whatnot, but they got behind us. 2-3 cars deep, lights out, guns blazing, and any false move we could have made, we could have got shot. And now that I'm older, I think about that. I'm like, man, that's just, grace of God, that nothing happened to us, man, because anything could have happened to us. Like I say, they could have arrested us. I mean, for what for? I don't know, but they could have arrested us, locked us up, put us in a holding cell, had us call our parents to come get us, right? Or they could have shot us, they could have thought we had something on us. and instantly just started, shooting at us. So we could have been dead and gone, because like I said, they had guns out on us, like not holding their hand on their wrist. No, they had them out with the flashlights and the bright lights from the car. I don't know why they picked us, how they picked us, or maybe because they saw we were speeding down the road. I don't know, but that night could have been different. That night could have went other ways. And so that was my first experience with, I don't know if it was a dirty cop. They were white cops. They say get your black asses out the car. When they racist cops, I say dirty racist cops. That's just me. That was my first experience with one. And now, granted, I don't know if this was the same summer or the next summer. We're in Dallas, Texas. And we're down there with my boxing team. And we're in Dallas, Texas for a black gloves tournament. I think it was maybe the second or third year they were putting this tournament on. And we got invited to this tournament. It was like a weekend tournament. I can't remember, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday tournament. And we get down there late, I think Friday. Might have been Saturday, Sunday. I can't remember. We got there late that night. I want to say Friday night, I think. We got there that night. Motel 6. Me and two of my other teammates were out in the parking lot of the Motel 6 while our coaches are getting the rooms, right? And we're just playing around, pushing, shoving, chasing each other. Being teenagers, man, we tired. We done been in this van, we stretching our legs, we just having fun. Granted, we don't know the area that we are. We're not from Dallas, and so I get pushed over and I trip over a speed bump. And the other two run, this other way. And as I'm getting up, it's a Mexican woman cop. She has her lights on me, she has a gun out, and she says, "Get your black ass up." And I'm like, "What? Huh?" She said, "You heard me. Get your black ass up." I'm like, whoa, I look up like, what's going on? What's the problem? And she was like, "Come here. What are you doing over here? Come here. Who you with?" I'm like, "I'm with my boxing team. What do you want?" Like, I haven't done nothing. And granted, I'm shocked. I'm scared. Like, this lady got her gun out. She got a flashlight. She telling me, "Come here." I'm not coming to you. Like, no, I'm not coming. What did I do? That's my state of, what did I do? I didn't do nothing. What did I do? I didn't do nothing. I'm repeating this over and over. What did I do? I didn't do nothing. And so she grabs me, puts me in cuffs. My other two teammates come. They run and go get their dad, coach. And they're like, "I don't know what happened. They got Emmanuel in cuffs." So she throws me on the ground on this brick thing. And she puts her knee in my back. And so this brick is in my stomach. And I can feel it, just sticking me in my stomach. And she has her gun, right here. And my coach and them come out and they trying to figure out what's going on. And they're like, "Man, you be quiet." And I'm in tears now. I'm crying because I'm upset. Number one, you got me in cuffs. Number two, you pulled your gun out on me. You have your gun on me now, but you put it up when my coach and them came out. And now you're treating me like I did something wrong. And I'm steady asking, what did I do? What the hell did I do? What's going on? I didn't do nothing. I'm hollering. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. And so my coach and them are trying to figure out what's going on. Now, granted, I'm a kid. I talk back to adults at times. I get an attitude at times. Like, I'm a typical teenager, and so she painted the picture to my coaches that I was just being disrespectful to her. And I'm steady telling my coaches, no, she cussed me out, told me to get my black ass up with her gun pointed at me and her flashlight. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. And so my coaches are not upset at the fact that this lady got me in cuffs. And she basically just, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't even think of the word. But basically, she's accusing me of something that I didn't do. She profiled me. She profiled me and she's a cop. They're not upset that I got profiled. In their white eyes, I don't think they even realize that I got profiled. They're upset because I'm talking back and I'm yelling at this officer. But they don't understand the magnitude of I'm yelling and I'm talking back to this officer because she just put me in handcuffs and pulled her gun out on me for no reason. Yeah, we're in a Motel 6 parking lot. Yes, it's dark outside. We kids, we running around, we playing, we ain't touching nothing. So come to find out, somebody on the other side of the hotel that stays there, vehicle got broken into. And they only description that the cop thought was a black man. So when those people come around, they're like, no, that's not him. We saw who did it. That's not him. And so cop lets me go. Misunderstanding. Don't be out late. When I tell you to do something, you do it and you don't give me back talk. I'm in tears. I'm mad. My coach is trying to talk to me. I tell my coach, I'm not trying to hear nothing he got to say. And I tell him, you're not my dad. I'm not trying to hear nothing you got to say. So now I hurt my coach's feelings, but he doesn't understand the magnitude of my feelings were hurt because I got profiled. I got a gun pulled on me. I got put in handcuffs. And you as my coach are not listening to what I'm trying to tell you, what happened to me. Y'all are thinking man is just being man. Man just was back talking and being disrespectful to this cop. That wasn't the case. I didn't start yelling back at this lady until she tried to put me in cuffs. So when she tried to put me in cuffs, I pulled away from her like, what are you doing? Like, no, get up off me. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, she grabbed me, threw me down, put me in cuffs, picked me up, and she took me down there. Whole time I'm yelling, what did I do? I didn't do nothing. What did I do? Why am I in cuffs? Why you arrested me? So you can think I may have been 15 or 16 at this time. 15 maybe. 15-year-old black kid being profiled, being cussed out, being told to get your black ass up with a gun out, face pointed at him, with a light flashing in his eyes. And the whole time, I was not the person you were looking for. So I don't get an apology. I don't get anything, but you should see how I feel. I'm on 10 now because I don't know what's going on. This lady's trying to arrest me. She's picking on me. She's bothering me. And to this day, when my dad, I didn't ever tell my dad that this happened, right? Like I never told him that this happened. And he learned about it a year or two later when I got into some trouble at this tournament in St. Louis when I acted a fool. Yeah, I acted a plumb fool because I felt like they cheated me in this tournament. We would fight these kids in their hometown, and I felt like they cheated me. And so I got attitude through chairs and all type of stuff like that because, politics of boxing. I fought the hometown fighter and all that, but I beat that boy. And so he found out about it then. And so even then, he still never asked me what happened, why'd I do it. It was Emmanuel being Emmanuel, Emmanuel just being bad, being disrespectful, not wanting to listen, but that wasn't the case. Granted, I did tell my coach, you're not my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget what you're talking about. But in that moment, my coach didn't see the importance that I needed for him as a white man to understand the magnitude of what's going on with me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being arrested. I'm being profiled. Well, not arrested. Well, in my mind, I was being arrested. I'm being profiled because I'm black and because somebody reported that their car got broke into, and it was a black guy. But I didn't even match the fit or match the description of the person besides me being black, and that's all that cop saw was a black person. She saw a black kid on the ground and a half Mexican and white kid, and a white kid running off. So in her mind, she probably thought I was chasing them or doing something to them. I don't know, but we were playing. We were teenagers. We were just having fun because we was tired of sitting in a freaking van, for however long that ride was, 5-6 hour drive in that van, getting ready for a boxing tournament when 2 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago, we was at another boxing tournament and traveling. And you know what I'm saying? Like, no. And so that hurt me when my coach didn't hear me out and understand that I was fearing for my life. Number one, because I'm an African American, but number two, because I didn't do anything wrong. And I've never told my coach this. I might, if I ever get a chance to see him again. Then again, I might not, but I never told my coach, that hurt my feelings. Granted, I probably hurt his feelings too, by my remarks, you ain't my dad. You can't tell me what to do. But in the heat of that moment, I didn't feel like any of them had my best interests at heart. It was basically, what did I do wrong and not let me hear Emmanuel out and see what's going on. And oh no, you messed up. And even when they found out she messed up, there was no apology. You know, it was still when you shouldn't have been talking back. You should have just listened to what she said. If I'm not doing nothing wrong, why do I need to listen to you? You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to put me in cuffs, I should have a right to know why I'm being put in handcuffs. You know, all of that. But come to find out, thank God those people came and they did whatever they did and they realized, oh, this ain't the guy. You know what I'm saying? I fit a description to to this woman because I was black. And just think, if I would have kept resisting, and as they say, she could have shot me, she could have beat me, she could have, did anything to me. She already had took me down with full force. She could have did anything to me and had an excuse of why she did it, and they would have believed it. Number one, because I'm black. Number two, because they didn't even have body cameras on then. So they wouldn't have known what went on, what was said, or what happened. It would have been her story versus a dead black kid story if I would have been murdered or if I would have been beaten. Her story versus a criminal in their mind story. Which is BS, and I can go on for days how I got pulled over for no reason, driving while black, matter of fact, yeah, this is another experience I had with racism. I've had it experienced it in a job, literally working with white people. I've experienced, I had a white guy. Oh man, I'm gonna have to tell you guys this. So I had a white guy at a company, at a warehouse I was working at a few years ago, 2016. Was it 16 or 15? Might have been 15. At a warehouse I was working at. Told me to shut up, Toby. Because he was coming in and he didn't know the process of what was going on. And I'm trying to tell him the process of what's going on. You're going to pull up. You're going to give us the receipt. We're going to go in, check it. I'm going to get your stuff. I'm going to put it on the back of your truck. You don't even have to get out. You can sit in the truck. We're good to go. He came in looking for what's going on, and I'm working, and I'm like, yo, can I help you? And he's still walking. I'm like, yo, can I help you? You in the warehouse. You're not supposed to be in here. Shut up, Toby. I instantly got off my forklift, paused it. I had something in the air. No lie, I had something in the air, and I stopped. Boom. If that thing would have fell over, just would have fell over. I ain't care. And I had to ask that man, who the hell you think you talking to? And then when he seen how upset I was, he changed his tone. Oh, no, I'm just trying to find the office. I said, no, because you came out the office and they told you to bring your ticket around here and to bag up, and that's what you did. Give me your ticket, and if you need me to, and I'll get whatever you need and put on back your truck. Oh man, whatever. I said, no, let's go. No, man, check that. I said, no, I don't have attitude. You check your attitude, man, and you can get the hell up out of here. And so he gave me the ticket and tried to make a scene. And one of the other workers that was there, they heard it, so it was nothing. So the manager came in like, yo, what's going on? What's all this ruckus? And I told him what happened. And the guy was like, man, he just had an attitude for no reason, man, and this and that. And I was just trying to get my material. And he said, well, man, I told you, man, to park it. They'll come till you get the ticket and put your stuff on back of the truck. You know what I'm saying? And the other guy was in there was like, well, no, man, he told the man to shut up, Toby. I don't think he knew I was sitting right here at my desk, but he told the man to shut up, Toby. And Emmanuel got pissed off. And so when Emmanuel jumped off his forklift, I went to Emmanuel's forklift and took down what Emmanuel had. And before I knew it, Emmanuel was in his face. Nothing happened to me or anything like that, but we have to let that man know, if you're going to come in here, you're going to come in here with respect. You're not going to call nobody out their name. You're not going to be disrespectful. And we damn sure not going to have any type of racism, And in this day and time, man, it's just crazy, man, that so many people will look at you and profile you. They'll look at you and not like you, especially in this time with Donald Trump, with the insurrection and all this racism, in my eyes, he's brought back so many racist people that may have been in hiding or, somewhat died out. Now it's just like you see just racism and racist people everywhere, man. They look at you funny in stores. You get on these social media sites, they hide behind their computer, calling you out your name, saying hateful things about black folks. You got the Republican Party, you got the people on CNN. You have these people allowing racism to spread. They're getting rid of critical race theory. They don't want to teach black history, in schools anymore. They don't want kids to know what they did or what their grandparents did. They want to hide that part of history, but they still want to be hateful and mistreat you and hit you with racial slurs and treat you like you're less than, you know. And it's crazy, man, this day and age that we're in 2024, and we still have to deal with racism. We still have to deal with hate. I would say the words of Rodney King, can we all just get along? But no, seriously though, it's like, when will it stop? But it's not gonna stop. I hate to say it, it's not. You know, it is not gonna stop. And even we have to, even in the face of hate, even in the face of racism. Hey, I hate what I'm finna say. We still have to find ways to be bigger. We still have to find ways to be the more level-headed person. Now, I'm not saying the person come up to you and are disrespectful, put their hands on you, or whatever, not to defend yourself. I'm not saying that at all because I believe in defending yourself. I'm sorry. I ain't there yet in life. I'm gonna defend myself. But if you can get yourself out of that situation without having to get physical, then get. Because we're living for so much more now. We're living for our families, our children, for those who have grandkids, their grandchildren, our parents, our aunts, our uncles. We're living for so much now that we don't want one moment of us losing our cool, one moment of us being upset to ruin that, right? Um, and make it to where now we're in prison, or we were murdered or shot or something like that, you know. Um, so that's what I mean by that. I'm not just preaching and all things be bigger, but if there's a way you can assess the situation and you just be like, you know what, let me just go, because like I know me, let me just go, then let's be that person and just go, because forget those low levels. Forget those lower people. You know what I'm saying? Forget them. Let me go because I have more to focus on. Maybe I have a business that I'm working on, and I'm trying to have residual income and leaving income for generations to come, right? I don't need to stop that. And things like that. So we have to think about, what the people that we love in those type of situations. But even now, to those teenagers, even grown folks, to those kids who are experiencing, racism or hate or discrimination and not having a voice, let your parents know what's going on. Tell them about it. Tell them the situation, and hopefully it can be fixed. Thank God nothing happened to me in those situations, especially when I was a kid with those cops. I thank God, because of course, if something worse happened, I could have had either a longer prison sentence, or I could have been, murdered right then and there. So I thank God that nothing happened to me in those situations, man, because they could have probably went deadly. I don't know. When you're a kid and you're seeing lights and guns at you, you don't know what to do. You're gonna freak out. What did I do? What's wrong? What's going on? Especially if you haven't done anything wrong, especially if you're just being a kid, in those moments. How do I know me playing around was gonna get a gun pulled on me? How did I know us being managed going out here to kick it with the grown folks was gonna end up us being pulled over and guns pulled out on us. Didn't know it. We didn't know that. How are we supposed to know that? We being kids. We were living in that moment, and having fun. Granted, should we have been there? Nah. Was it fun? Oh man, we had a blast. We had a blast. But did those cops pulling us over open our eyes? It did. It made us think. It made us think even now to this day. If I do happen to go out, it makes me think about, being careful, watching my surroundings, and things like that, so that I'm not being pulled over, or I'm not being profiled, as a grown man, which you really can't help if a person profiles you or not, but making sure that I'm doing what's necessarily needed for me to stay alive, but what's necessarily needed for me to stay free. And other people have done those same things and still been murdered, and done those same things and still been locked up. That's the crazy part about it. You can still do everything you're supposed to do to make sure you're correct, make sure you're right, and you can still get locked up and lose your life. That's the crazy part about it. That's the scary part, That's the scary part about it, is that honestly, as an African American man, I don't feel like there's nothing that I can do that won't get me hurt, or anything. It doesn't matter. And we've seen it, We've seen African American men comply and be murdered. We've seen an African American man show his gun license and let the officer know he had a gun, still be murdered. So we've seen African American men and women sitting in your house playing a game with your nephew and be murdered. We've seen it. Laying in bed, sleeping with your boyfriend and be murdered. Walking with a tea, Arizona tea, and Skittles and be murdered. Sitting on a park bench playing with your toy, minding your business, and be murdered. You see what I'm getting at? That's when I say it doesn't matter what we do. If that person chooses to do it, they'll do it. But I still take those necessary steps because I have a family, I have a son, and I have to raise him to be a Black man in America. And it's hard because I have to show him that this world is not all peaches and cream. This world doesn't love you. This world will hurt you. This world will turn its back on you. This world will do anything it wants to you. Yes, at times this world can be beautiful. This world can be fun. But also, here is what else that this world can do to you. So you have to know your surroundings, know who you are, take these measures to make sure that you make it home each day to live to see another day. I could have been a hashtag twice as a kid, a teenager, just being a kid. And it's a lot of teenagers that are hashtags that aren't here to see 38 years old like me. A lot that didn't make it. Some didn't make it to see 25. Some didn't even make it to see 21. Granted, yes, we have Black on Black crime. I ain't trying to talk about that right now because we got white on white crime, Mexican on Mexican crime, Asian on Asian crime as well. So I ain't trying to hear none of that at all. But, when you think about that, when you look at today's world and you watch the news and you see the movies and you read the books and things like that, and you think about how just like that, your life could have been gone, it makes you appreciate life better, right? It makes you enjoy to see where you are right now in life, honestly. But it also makes you realize that there are still steps to take. There's still a process that we have to go through. We still have to have a better mindset. And I mean, the officers, the racist people, all of them, they still have to have a better mindset. All black people ain't evil. All black people ain't criminals and drug dealers and gangbangers. Just like all white people ain't racist. Majority, but not all white people are racist. Not all cops, when they put on that badge, are bad cops. We need the good cops to stand up and speak out, like we need the non-racist whites to stand up and speak out as well and say things, this is wrong, this is not right. Along with us standing up and speaking out saying this is wrong and this is not right. You know, this shouldn't be happening, this shouldn't be going on. You know, I have said, a lot this whole podcast. Y'all forgive me for that. But it's just one of those things, right? But just thinking about that, where I could have been, even when I was in prison, I dealt with major racism in there. Major. Whole squad rider. Got into a fight with a whole squad rider. Why? Because I was black and I was the smallest person on my line, whole squad line. And this one guy, I won't say names, was talking bad to him. And I don't know why he didn't take it out on that guy, but he took it out on me. And he got off his horse, sprayed me with mace. I threw my hands up and I kept telling him, bro, it's not me. It's not me. But he grabbed me. And when he grabbed me, I could still see a little bit. So I defended myself. He stepped back. Oh, shook him. And he came back on me. Caught him again. I shook him. This time he rushed me. When he rushed me, he picked me up. Boom. Body slam. And I heard it was my knee. Pop. I don't know what, my ACL. Pop. And I just laid there, like this. And he was trying to hit me and I just laid there. And then they broke it up. They got up. So then I started feeling the effects of the mace. Burning, whole body, burning, But even then, that Host Guard rider just picked me out of a bunch because somebody else was talking junk to him, And I don't even know who it was, But I'm sitting there minding my business, working, and he picked me out of a bunch to, I guess, make himself feel tough, And I defended myself. Yeah, I hit him a few times. He was bigger than me. He dropped me. I messed up my knee, But even then, Host Guard riders had guns on them. That dude could have shot me from that horse. I got off that horse and shot me, honestly. And what would have been the excuse? I was trying to run. He felt threatened. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a hole in my hand. Yeah, anything could have happened. But that's what I mean. Those other people that were around, those other riders, should have been like, nah, bro, you wrong. Because they were there. You wrong. This ain't, but they stick together. And so that's what I mean, man, that we have to do all these measures to make sure that we make it home safe. And so I have to teach my son that, not being fearful that something's going to happen to him, but just being prepared. If you're ever put in that situation, you'll know what to do. My son ain't like us, like me. He didn't grow up in the hood. He don't see gangs and gang members, He don't see people selling drugs. He don't see people selling weed. He don't see people on crack. We live in the suburbs. He don't see any of that. So he doesn't know that. Furthest he get to it is on TV, And so that's my duty to educate my son on what it is to be a black man in America, unfortunately. I have to tell him what that is, what that looks like. So we even watch certain shows, certain movies, and I ask him what he gets from it, so that he will understand the realm of what's going on, and just get it one day. Of course, he's 9, so he's gonna go through a lot of growing pains. He's gonna go through, getting in trouble. He's gonna go through dealing with people who don't like him. He's gonna go through dealing with people who's gonna try to manipulate him, And I just have to do what I can to educate him, But we have to do that with all our children. We have to do that with all of our, family and friends, letting them know that, I want you to come home to me safe and sound. And I want to come home to you safe and sound. But yeah, that's my story of how I could have been a hashtag. Other people have stories. And if you have a story, comment, leave it, or hit me up and we'll talk about it. But tell me your story, how you could have been a hashtag and how you made it out and what you're doing now to make sure that the people in your corner or people in your community won't be a hashtag as well. Crazy times we live in, but we have to have these discussions and we have to have discussions of what happened and what can we do better. Y'all be easy. I hope this helps somebody. If not, cool. I hope you just understand, my mind state. But like I say, if you had those moments where you could have been a hashtag too, and somehow, some way it didn't go that way, comment, share, reach out to me, let me know your story. Y'all have a good day. Y'all be easy.